So Sal, some people are not happy at all with this storyline. Did you have any reservations?
Well, of course, all storylines, not just Coronation Street, but all storylines around suicide are subject to copycat behaviour. But, you know, we're really encouraged that Coronation Street contacted us and got us involved, because that reduces that risk if we can make sure we influence the actual method being portrayed.
What about the risk of copycat behaviour? Is that something that happens? Is that something that you're worried about in this particular case?
Well, copycats do happen, and you know, there's lots of research to show that. And I think any portrayal, whether it's in news or broadcast dramas, this is something that, you know, we need to be careful of.
So, David, there is a clear risk. I mean, can they justify this, or are they just going for big ratings, as a lot of soaps do these days?
I don't think in this case that they are going for necessarily big ratings, because with the Hayley story, it's a character, a particular set of circumstances. She wants to keep hold of her identity, and in the fog of medication, this might not happen. Her past may seep into her present. So we can see her decision making, and also there's the fact that Roy is, although standing by her, against what she's doing. And in the aftermath of the suicide, we'll see him struggling. And as you say, he will find it hard to grieve. He will be angry. So it might be the right decision for Hayley, but it might not be the right decision for those around her.
And now, we spoke to one of the soaps producers, a gentleman called Stuart Blackburn, today. Now, he's defended his decision, saying that they spent a huge amount of time putting research into these plot lines, and they think they've got it right. Let's have a listen to what he had to say.
Storylining process is 6-7 months in advance is first of all sensitivity to our audiences, and then with a story like cancer, a massive responsibility to the hundreds and thousands of people who are going through it, not least our own friends and family. So we do take these responsibilities incredibly seriously.
Would you agree with that, Sal? I mean, what kind of advice did you give them when you were looking at the scripts?
So that's right. So we did actually talk to them about the actual method, so the portrayal of the suicide, but also showing the reality of suicide, the devastation left behind. This is important because it allows people who are going through similar situations or who think about suicide to really understand what we're talking about here. You know, Samaritans has been advising the guideline with our guidelines for over 20 years, and we've seen storylines like this.
I mean, David, you talk about soaps every day in terms of your day job. Do you think they take this seriously? Do you think that they put enough care and attention into these scenes?
I often think that when they show suicide, it's an opportunity to slow the pace of the programme down. I mean, we've seen this before with the Dot and Ethel story on EastEnders, almost something similar to A Play for Today, where the scenes become longer and they do give space for the characters to talk through the issues. And I think that's very important when you've got a very hot topic like this.
Yeah, and there's certainly some huge issues to talk about. Well, we also spoke to Julie Hesmondhouse, who plays Hayley Cropper. Now, she says she's actually been or a lot of people have been in touch with her regarding the issue of dealing with something as horrible as terminal cancer. Let's listen to what she had to say.
Everyone has been affected by cancer in some way, and it seems to me that overwhelmingly people have seemed to find a little bit of solace in seeing something of their own reflection of loss being reflected, and that's a massive privilege. And you know, I've had a lot of messages about it, and people have wanted to tell me about their experiences, and that's been incredible for me.
Do you know, so I've had so many messages on this subject. This is from Deborah Gregory via Facebook. Says, I think it's a perfect forum to start a debate about any controversial item. I know it's incredibly hard watching these storylines, but they're great tools for discussion and also political debate. Is that what you would hope, that something good comes out of it?
Yes, definitely. And, you know, suicide is a very sensitive and complex issue, and we don't want to drive it underground. So it's important for the media to be sensitive, but also to bring these discussions out.
But some people, again, this is Simon Steele on Facebook, says, I think it should go ahead, but after 9 p.m, so it won't upset younger viewers. I mean, that's a really good point, isn't it, David? Because it's pre-Watershed. It's not right for everyone, is it?
That is a point to take, but soaps are ideally placed to cover such topics as life, love, and loss.
You've watched this episode and you have children. Would you be happy for your children to watch this?
I wouldn't necessarily recommend it for children. I've got a 9-year-old, and I don't think that I particularly like him to watch it. I mean,
it's before the Watershed, so lots of kids are going to watch this, aren't they?
I think that the thing with this storyline is that it isn't normally a storyline which people would come to Coronation Street for, but because they're invested in the characters, then that's why they've become involved. And when you follow characters over years and sometimes decades, you're very invested in their behaviour.
And you've had many calls regarding the storyline already from the Samaritans, haven't you?
So we do have calls, and often that we'll see that in society. If something's on the news agenda, we will receive calls about it, and it's only to be expected, but we want people to know that we're here for them if they are struggling with that.
Okay.